Welcome to the DorkLair Collecting Podcast. Let me know if my voice sounds weird because during the intro my microphone kicked me out and then I had to put it back on. So what's
Sounds
going
like
on,
it,
guys?
It feels like it's been forever, huh?
It has been forever.
It really
it's been
has.
a couple months
It
for
really
all,
has,
at
yeah.
least for all three of us. Chris, you were on the last one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then
I wasn't able to make it back from work in time.
Yeah.
I was downstairs a little bit ago. My wife looks at me. She goes, "Isn't it time for you to get out of here? Don't you have somewhere to be?" I was like, "Yeah, she loves this now. She can be rid of me for a couple of hours."
Nice. Yeah, doing good. I was just telling Bill I got my Necronominus order in. So
Oh, nice.
Very excited to actually dig into these guys.
I'm always interested to hear, like, as people start opening them up, how they feel. Because to me, it was like a step. It was like a huge step up from past stuff. You know, there was just a lot that's really nice in this wave. Whether it's just like new parts, or crazy like advanced cloth goods, or just like just wild, interesting, different things. It's such a strong wave, possibly the best wave yet, I think.
Yeah,
really
I can tell this by looking at these guys, what they come with, the paint apps, and how ornate everything is. Like, yeah, these feel very stellar so far.
The details are finer. The weapons are a little more like realistically shaped and stuff. It's like it feels like Mezco level of detail to me, which is crazy because they're still $50 standard figures, but they kind of feel like they're approaching the quality of like a Mezco Conan compared to like a Gideon's Heaven's Brand. There's not a huge difference to me.
Yeah, I can see that. They're I'm excited. I've held off on like watching too many review videos. Like I watched a few of yours, but not like dug into every little thing, so I can like keep the surprise for myself a little.
Totally.
I'm the same way. Whenever I have something coming in, I obviously once I get it, like it's been so long since we've been on. There's no way I'm going to do all the stuff that I've gotten, but I did pick up a few things I'll talk about. But when I got them, I watched every review I could get my hands on for them. But you don't want to watch it beforehand because you don't want to have, like you said, you don't want to be spoiled, and you don't want your I don't want my perceptions to be painted by someone else's experience.
Update on the finger. So last time, I mean, it's been off for a little while now, the splint, but you can see it's still pretty hurting.
Yeah.
And it's
I
still can't fully straighten it. I think it's going to be permanently about there in terms of being able to straighten it. It's going to be a long time to heal this thing. And I can close all my other fingers, but that one, so it's going to be essentially like physical therapy for a long time just to get it like bending and just back.
Can you physically, like if you manipulate it with the other hand, or is it just not flexible enough yet?
It's not flexible enough.
Okay.
It needs to, the tendon across the top
needs to stretch out,
which is what snapped.
Yeah.
Needs to slowly stretch out so that you don't snap it again.
There are two guys in my gym dealing with, obviously not fingers, but one guy tore a pec and another guy tore a biceps. And that's the thing. After both of them had great surgeries, they were really clean tears, so they were able to get strong reattachments. But then the struggle there is getting that range of motion back, getting that flexibility back, and that's that's the thing that you really have to be really consistent with your PT on to get there, because it's not going to get there by itself.
Yeah. So there's that. Like it's a lot better in terms of just being able to do stuff. Like even just like washing my hands, right? Like there's nothing worse than like having to put a glove on to take a shower every time I take a shower or something, because I don't want to like get my bandage. I didn't want to rewrap it every time. So like I didn't want to get the thing wet all the time. But now that it's off, I have a lot more like.
Are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed. This is my
thank
left hand.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, totally.
I guess I was in the 10th or 11th grade. So my brother was in middle school. He cut the tip of his finger off. He was using something called a joiner. And what that does is it planes off the bottom of the piece of wood, nice and smooth. and he was trying to plane the knot off of the bottom of a piece of wood, but it was too thin, and he had his finger right over the knot, and when it hit the blade just basically sucked it down, and it, I mean, that fast, chopped, like it skinned the top of these two, but that middle finger, it took about a third of an inch off. And
so bone.
Yeah, down to the bone. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's, oh my gosh, my little brother, he's got the pain tolerance of, I don't know, a PCP addict. And we're going, like, he just calmly comes walking up the stairs. I'm in the living room. I hear him go to the kitchen. I hear the freezer door open. I hear ice. I hear the water turn on. And he just casually, he doesn't yell. He just raises his voice so mom can hear him up the stairs. Hey, mom, I cut the end of my finger off. We need to go to the hospital. Just as calm as it. And she comes flying downstairs. What? So we get there, and he's such an idiot. This is what he does. We're in there now. The guy who is the surgeon, he's a bone specialist. He actually, his son graduated with me, so he's known my family for years. And my brother at this point had broken like 14 bones. So we've got frequent flyer miles at the emergency room. So we're in there, and Joe says to him, Joe goes, so Dr. McCormick, he's stitching him up and everything. He's got him pumped full of Novocaine or whatever, lidocaine. So Dr. McCormick goes, well, will I be able to play piano after this? And doctor goes, I don't see why not. And Joe goes, awesome. I've never been able to play, and I've always wanted to. And the doctor just looks at my mom and I, and he's like, this is y'all's DNA, you know. So, but anyway, he's right-handed. So for 12 weeks, he really couldn't do anything with his hand. He learned to write, eat, throw a football. I mean, everything with his left hand. And it's amazing how quickly you can adapt when you don't have a choice.
I had to, I broke a bone in my right hand years ago, and I had a job where I had to take notes daily. You know, I had to take you know, records and logs and sign a lot of things. I had to learn how to write with my left hand. And funny enough, I typically have always just printed. I learned cursive in school, and I did cursive, but I always preferred printing. It's just neater. But I found that writing in cursive allowed me to more quickly become proficient at writing with my left hand. I don't know why, just like the smooth, like the not having to lift the pen up again and again. Yeah. It's just a little less, a little more freedom, I think, when you're writing like that. And so that was kind of the trick for me when I had to learn how to write with my left hand. Now, obviously it's been like 20 years, but so I can't now. But if I ever did it again, I would go with cursive.
That'd be the way to go. Of course, now we don't write anything down at all. Everything's typing. And when I do, like, I'll go into some doctor's offices, and because of HIPAA regulations, you have to sign in anytime you're going back into a patient area. In certain offices, they do it this way. And there are days that I'll come in, if it's beginning of the day, it's the first thing I'm writing, I have to basically wake my hand up and remind it, okay, you know how to do this. It's wild.
Well, I guess one like great thing about being a classroom teacher is I still do write quite a bit, whether it's on the board or just writing just notes and things. So I do write quite a bit still. Let's get into the chat here. Let's see who's here. We got Blake, we got Freaks Figures, OK Figures, Tony Horton, Jordan the Wholesome Warlock, Jeff Evans. We got Kirby. Yes, this is where the party is at. Heinrich Hoffman says he's not feeling well. I hope you feel better soon, buddy. KB Toys, Imagination Hobbies, Michael B, Mr. Ryan Clark, Schmerber. One of my recent pickups came from Schmerber. That is the not Conan from.
I saw you post that today. That's a good looking figure.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of different swap out options. It is super nice. This is the Legendary Barbarian, which is basically their con figure for the year. So any of the conventions that they're going to be at, the Four Horsemen, they're going to have this figure there in limited quantities. I think they said they allocated half of the production run and then split it across those conventions, smaller numbers for smaller cons and bigger numbers for bigger cons. And then the second half of that, they're going to put online at the end of the year probably after Legions Con, which I think is their last convention of the year or close to it. So pretty cool there that it's like both this like draw for bringing people to the convention and like
Yeah.
making that table be very appealing, especially with like their shift in prices and stuff. This will attract people. But then at the same time, at the end of it all, it's going to be readily available on their site, just like Ninian Infantry, just like the Skeleton Legion Builder 2, and so on. So, and you know, by then it will have lost like there will be numerous other things that'll have come out by then, right? That'll have like kind of taken the shine off of it, and it won't be as in demand by then, I think.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm excited they're coming to San Diego Comic-Con, so I'll be able to pick it up there. Yeah. Hopefully, I as long as the lines aren't ridiculous, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it probably depends on whether or not it stays as expensive as it is, because it's like $200 now on the aftermarket. Yeah. So, but I think a lot of that'll slowly wear off because they're going to be going to cons. Flippers are going to be grabbing them and flooding the market, and you know it. So
there's only so many people who will pay that too, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then also Schmerber's episode where he had me on a guest, which we recorded probably as far back as the last time we were on. It was a while ago, but he's going to have that up this Sunday on New to Mythics. And then we've got Mastodonte. That's a good name.
It's a great name.
Brian Carr. Ben G, Dorks and Dragons, Kevin Boots. Let's see who else we got here. Texas 1911, Joe Gonsalves, David Williams, Thor, Anacostia, Guaisagwe, what's up? Chris Collier, Steve Wegling, Mike Massey, Tiffany Mythic Dolphin, who's been posting the updates to the videos. Thank you, Tiffany. I have various dragon videos, and every morning Tiffany adds the updates to those dragon videos, which has been awesome. Romero Toy Hunter, Cloud Foxwell, KJ Smith. Let's see if I'm Josh Brown, Paul Zach, Bill English. What is up? Rob Zamora, William Husted, Mr. Ryan Clark. Is that Josh Brown of Josh Brown Customs? Isn't that his name? Josh Brown of Josh Brown Customs? Oh, wait. He doesn't have it on there this time. Let's see here. Who else we got? Dan. Michael Casper, Collecting Brothers, Gluten Free Style. Is it gluten-free style or is it gluten freestyle? Rabbit Den, Endless Fables, Louis Christensen, Jake Rawson, Hank Shaw, Mirko Caldera, Caleb Collects. Wow, we got a lot of different people in here. I don't think
I've over 100 so already.
Yeah,
Aristotle.
Guess distance does make the heart grow fonder.
And Albert Liu, Dusty Standiford, Jeremy Govier, Doak. I still don't know if it's. I forgot. They've probably told Brian Brink, who he does the campaign updates with the meters on Geek Dad Life's website. Let's see here. All right, that's everybody. Sean County. Tomorrow at 5. Party was starting early. All right. Recent pickups. Chris, you kind of showed some stuff off. Is that anything else?
The other thing I got was a little by surprise because I forgot I pre-ordered it was I'm blanking on his name.
Rick
Hopper. It's on the little
I'm sorry, I saw the sheriff's outfit and I was thinking Walking Dead.
Yeah. I completely forgot. I basically used like all my points in a coupon, so it was a little over $100 ship. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm happy for that surprise. I don't mind paying for that.
That's cool.
Who puts that one out?
It's 3-0.
Okay.
Need to get better lighting, but it's pretty good sculpt. I don't love the hat. It's flocked, so it kind of has that little fuzzy look.
That's cool.
Like instead of just being soft, it's like it stands out a little in photos and stuff, but it works enough, and I like that better. They actually, it has sunglasses, and I've never seen this before where his like sideburns, I can't get them off. They're magnetic pieces, and then they have swap outs that have the holes in them.
Wait, he's got swap out sideburns?
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
That comes through, and it's a very tiny piece. And then the other one has a little hole for the sunglasses. So then, like the permanent sculpt doesn't have a a hole in it, like
space. Yeah,
some other ones. But pretty good. Tailoring's good. I like the likeness. So that's my other pickup for recently, anyway. But yeah, big, very excited for these, and I have another order from Empire Toy Shop that should have shipped to with some of the other guys in the Necro Wave.
Mm-hmm. Larry, how about you?
I'm going to bring up a couple that I wasn't going to until Schmerber mentioned the Mafex Daredevil, because I just want to comment on how Mafex is just knocking everything out of the park right now. I had that Return of Superman Eradicator showed up, and the Justice League Batman. Both of those figures just absolutely unbelievable. And then I told you guys I got the Venom reissue, and it's a McFarlane Venom, so that's more the style I like. And that figure, I must have sat here for an hour playing with that thing and posing it. It's great. So Mafex just continues to get better and better. I love what they're doing. I had a couple other things come in, but the main things that I'm super happy with, again, if you know me, everything's Optimus Prime. So the most recent, I got the final Masterpiece 60, which is Genrai. And then I also got MPG09, which was Super Genrai. And it comes obviously with Genrai in the trailer, but whereas the Masterpiece 60 Genrai is like the toy, I don't know if you can see, he's got red eyes. The one that comes with the Super Genrai has blue eyes. And then the Super Genrai itself, it comes with 3 interchangeable heads. It comes with red eyes, blue eyes, and then blue eyes that are more blue-eyed face that's more faithful to the anime. And then you can do, it's got 2 different sets of hands. It's got the red and blue, which I have on here. And then if you want it to be more like the Hasbro, it has just plain red hands. The other thing I got, Hasbro's been doing the Dramatic Capture series, which are repaints. And I picked up the one with Prime, Teletran 1, and Jazz. And I only got it because it's that Earthrise Optimus Prime sculpt, which prior to the Studio Series 86 coming out, this was the best Prime. This is still an awesome Prime, but it's in the cartoon colors, and I wanted that in the cartoon colors, so I got that. But the one that I most recently picked up, so MP44 came out a few years ago. It definitely had some issues. It's a beast to transform. It takes a while, but it had some issues with the hips and the knees. This is Masterpiece 44S, so this is the same sculpt. And I have the Nemesis Prime, or not the Nemesis Prime. Yeah, the Nemesis Prime version of this. And I've got the Shattered Glass version on pre-order. So I've got 2 of this sculpt already. And the previous one had corrected the knees and hips. This one does as well. But the 44S is toy colors. So you can see it's got yellow eyes like the original Optimus Prime. And the colors are more faithful to the toy. So with my masterpieces, they have with a lot of these, they have cartoon colors and then they have toy colors. So I've got different shelves for each. And anything Optimus Prime comes out, I'm going to get it. But these, the only gripe that I have with any of it, that MPG09, the Super Genrai, it was a beast getting the folded up cab to fit into the larger figure. And when they correct that for Nucleon, for the Nucleon Quest version, which is the black version, I hope they make it a little easier to put together, because I spent a good hour and a half trying to get this thing together. And if you can look and see here, you've got the cab here and then the edges, and they're supposed to be flush, which they are now. But if you don't get that thing in there, I mean, you have to get it in exactly right, have the cab transformed exactly right. It helps if you have a shaman over here swinging a dead chicken and chanting. But like all the planets really have to line up. So I got that thing together. It's never coming apart. I'm never taking that. So that's the other reason I'm glad I got this one, so I can display it, in both modes. But overall, I'm tickled to death with the posability. I just, if I can only collect one thing, it'd be my masterpiece line. And so I'm thrilled to death with all three of those.
Nice.
I got a bunch of other odds and ends, but these were my favorites.
Yeah. Quick shout out, Joe Gonzalez with the 10 memberships. We hit a new high, by the way. We're going to pull up the memberships in a bit. We were up to 120. I think it's the highest we've ever been. There were a lot of gifted memberships last time. And then OK Figures gifting 10 memberships as well.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
And enjoy those 1 month memberships, everybody.
I was gonna say that masterpiece is one I haven't ordered, but I want to get it because that was my like Optimus Prime, because I grew up. That was probably, I got it like 89 or something. Like I didn't the regular toy wasn't in stores when I was actually old enough to watch Transformers. So like that's forever. I thought that's how all of them were. I didn't. I literally didn't know there was like the original OG Transformer. So,
yeah, it's a fun toy, and there are enough tutorials out on it now that if you were to go back and put it together, you shouldn't have any issues. But I got it right when it dropped, so all the tutorials had not dropped online yet. But I absolutely love it. I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful figure. And in my display room, I have all these out with the original versions. So like, I've got that Christmas, my brother and I both got Power Master Prime. So I have two of them. So I've got the small one and the big one. I've got them next to each other. And then one year for Christmas, my mom, when Takara was doing all the reissues, one Christmas, she got me the Super Genrai with God Bomber armor. So the God Bomber armor for this thing is coming out in August or September. So I've got one of those from G1 as well. And just like, like the Omega Prime that's getting ready to come out, I've got the original RID from 2001. So it's really cool to have those side by side so you can look at just the differences in the technology and what we had then and what we have now. I think it's a lot of fun.
I got to read this one. Those primes are awesome, Larry. One hole I'm scared to get into.
Yeah, it is. It is. If someone said to me, you not only have to just collect one property, one figure, it would be Optimus Prime. He's my favorite. And this last couple of years, and Bill, is evidenced by your figure of the year last year, this last couple of years has just been a bumper crop of just awesome Optimus toys.
I got a Transformer in.
Whoa, where did you pick that up?
So this was, I had pre-ordered it from Entertainment Earth, and it just
they got theirs out early.
I ordered, so this is Scrapper. I forget the other one that was pre-ordered at the same time.
I think it's Bone Crusher, right?
Yeah, maybe. I ordered them at the same time, but only this one shipped so far. But that just came in today. I transformed it, back, and then.
How do you like it?
It's pretty good. It's the transformation isn't like anything crazy, but I really like the robot mode. I think it looks awesome.
Well, I definitely did Larry 2 times on those because I want a Devastator and then I want them individual, just like my Minosaur. I ordered them on Pulse, and they always get their stuff out last, but I'm glad to see you got it.
Yeah, and I want to say I've seen some people have found this one in stores, maybe. I forget where. But yeah, I mean, this is gonna be fun to like kind of pre-order them and slowly get them all in and then build it when you have them all, rather than like, I don't know, it's kind of like I don't know, teasing it out like a little bit at a time, and then you like have the payout.
That's what I enjoyed about how they did Minosaur a couple of years ago. You got them, they trickled them out. We got those coming, we got the aerial bots, and they just announced Vortex, so we're getting the Combaticons. So yeah, it's gonna be a great couple years for combiners coming up.
And then like I said, got the legendary Barbarian, and then a couple other things came in. So last time we recorded, we had Jesse from Knights of the Slice from Toy Pizza on, and he gave away a yet to be revealed Goss and Cray 2-pack that was something from the Patreon. And that came in. And so this is actually already a kit bash that uses another
Cool.
figure, but this is a lot of this is the Goss armor that it came with. So like the upper torso, the legs, the lower arms, those are all the Goss armor, and then the other parts are from another figure that I'll show after, because I'm gonna bring these up again after for something. And then this was the cray that came with it, and then so it's a lilac cray, and this is the kind of like beigey gray parts are from an add-on set that's available for the patrons as well. And he sent me a donation for a giveaway, so we're giving away another set. So it does not come with the like with that head and the upper arm. It doesn't come with the like parts I use to swap on, or the gray parts here. But it's got that Goss armor, and then sort of stashed in the back, it's got the cray figure. So that'll
the
be
silhouette of those with the armor. I wish they would do what was the lead character's name in Metroid? Samus.
Yeah.
I wish they would do like a tribute to that, because the silhouette is just perfect for that.
They may have, or they may, well, this, yeah, I mean, they've probably done Samus tributes in Glios, maybe even in Toy Pizza.
I haven't seen
actually, Ben is in the chat. He'll know. And then I could totally see them coming back and doing this Goss armor as Samus.
Yeah, that silhouette's just perfect.
Yeah, so Glios has done several Samus colorways years ago. So, but this Goss armor would be a great way to come back to it. I think.
Really would.
Yeah, so that's I think that's pretty much all my pickups, are all kind of like my biggest hits that I've picked up over the last little bit. Let's pull up the news. So add to stage. So we're going to start off with and we'll come back to this in a bit after the Legions news. So there hasn't been a Samus Goss yet, but I made a Phazon suit by bashing a silver and black one together. Okay. That's cool. And that's the fun thing about Glios, is like just so easy to just make your own customs that are just kit bashes, just like Legions. Okay. So we have the campaign. The Dragon is funded. It funded on the day of our triumphant return. I feel like it was meant to be.
Fate.
Yeah. So it crossed over that 2,000 mark last night. A couple days ago, they announced that they were moving all of the like stretch goals down a notch. So at 2,000, so now already at 2,000, we're getting the basic version of the Dragon Knight, Sir Benegar. And then at 2,500 instead of 3,000, you're getting the add-on set for Benegar. And then at 3,000 now, we're getting the skeleton, and at 3,500 we're getting the add-on stuff for the skeleton. And now there's a question mark level at 4,000, which used to be the top level. So now they're gonna, if it gets there, they're gonna reveal a potential unlock, a new thing for 4,000. And then we've also got the fire, the breathing fire set that crossed its 1,000 mark, so that's funded and on its way to that 1,250, so that you get the extra stuff with the figure that comes with it. And then the wing set is pretty close as well. That's only 142 away from being funded. So there's still 12. So we're 12 and a half days in as of this update, right? So it started on a Friday night at 8, and then the updates come every morning. So the updates are coming 12, 36 hours later. Like they're all coming a day and a half, right? Like, or a half day later. So we're 12 and a half days as of the number, 2007, right? Which means, because this is over 30 days, it's 30 days and 3 hours. It started at 8 on a Friday, and it's going to end at 11 p.m. on a Saturday. Because it's that long, there's still 17.6 days remaining, and you only need to hit 1993 to hit it. So it did 2,000, over 2,000 in the first 12 and a half days. So I think there's a very high likelihood that it will hit that 4,000 mark by the end of the next 17 and a half days. And because of the fact that this is pay now, pay when you order, I think there's going to be a much larger rush on the last day than there was on the first day. I think the last day is going to have huge numbers. And so I think that second half, it's more than half. It's 17.6 days versus 12 and a half. That second, the next stretch of it is going to, I think it's got potential to hit 5,000, honestly.
I just turned and looked over my shoulder to remind myself how big Castle Grayskull is. That dragon is on. I don't think anyone's going to really have a real concept of how big that sucker is till it's in hand with its wings opened up. That's just a beast of a figure.
How about this?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
They posted these, and these are, I'm pretty sure these are in hand. These aren't Photoshopped together. These are in hand. I'm pretty sure. Trevor might know. I don't think Trevor took these. I think it was Brad, but I don't think these were Photoshopped. I think these were in hand photos.
That's pretty awesome.
That's sweet.
Because you know, just a sense of the perspective on it. It's
holy crap. I'm curious as to how much that sucker's going to weigh.
They said it's 35 pounds. In the box. So the box is probably 10 pounds itself, right?
I'm sure the box is going to have a lot of packing and padding.
25. Yeah, that's bigger than my dog.
Yeah.
Right.
Or heavier and bigger, I'm sure.
Probably whip the dog's ass too. Jeez.
Yeah, I have no doubts this is going to hit 4,000.
Okay, yeah. So those were Cookie's collection. Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine it not. It would have to really, really slow down. And the fact that it just crossed 2,000, people are going to jump on now. I don't think it's going to really slow down. And they have the option to reveal this 4,000 goal whenever they want. They can reveal it. If it starts slowing down, they could reveal it. They can wait till 3,500. Right? If it's still cruising along, wait till 3,500 and reveal it. They can play that card at the right moment. So to keep the momentum going, and the momentum is super strong. Yeah. I'm impressed. It was kind of a little bit slow after the first 3 days, and then it just kept kind of cruising along and just making those 50 a day, 60, 70 a day jumps. And I think people started realizing it and just started jumping on.
Yeah.
And for the especially the fiery breath add-on, now that the dragon's fully funded, and then so that's 100% getting made. There are some people who are wanting just that. They were probably waiting on the sidelines to order those too.
Right, because they wouldn't, even if the fiery add-on was even if it funded, the dragon had to fund. They weren't gonna. A lot of people are well, what happens if the dragon doesn't fund? They're gonna make a head, and they're no, they're not gonna make any of it. Yeah. Even if the dragon didn't fund, none of it was getting made. Even if they sold thousands of the other things. So, So that's that. I mean, I guess throw this out to the chat. Predictions on that fourth. Yeah, here we go. Any guesses on that fourth stretch goal? What do you guys think?
I'm trying to think if it would be another figure. I'm not certain. I mean, just because the middle two are the Ashen Skeletons, which are, neat, but not super impressive. Nothing like Benegar is. So
yeah,
I'm really struggling whether or not, or if it'll just be a dragon pieces or something like that. The only thing I saw people suggest recently in the Cabal was it has two front claws, basically so if you ever actually pose it flying, another pair of floating claws, so it's not planted. I don't know.
Right.
Oh, an egg, yeah.
Right. So I mean, they could. I mean, I guess it depends on the fit and stuff, but they could totally just like totally reproduce a second set of those gripping,
Yeah.
those like gesturing ones, and just not even have to tool anything new. Just do like double those, right? I would imagine if they fit.
Yeah. So just something like that for flying. I don't know if that would be a real seller, but I'm just thinking of anything that's like a dragon part.
Right. Dragon soft goods. Let's see. A new dragon head. I feel like that's the kind of thing where I feel like they probably wouldn't have held something like that back.
Yeah, I don't think that would be an end of the road surprise.
It would be a big bonus though, like considering all right, 2,000, that's the minimum order to do the entire dragon, and everything else. You're basically at 4,000. You're doing another 2,000, like that could, that would be enough to fully fund a different thing of a similar size.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would be awesome if it is something like another head, like something spectacular.
Mm-hmm. I do want pit. I do want a pin. I don't want the 4K gold to be a pin, but I do want a pin. Like I think like Retro Rags will probably do some shirts. Hopefully with David Williams art that he did there. Let's see here. What else are people saying? A coin maybe. Yeah, again, like swaggy stuff like that I think would be cool. But I don't want them to have maybe it's like you're getting another figure plus a coin, or I don't really think people would react well to swag.
Well, all you have to do is look at the Cobra Rattler's first tier unlock, which was patches.
Yeah.
Right.
Patches. We'll say it again. Patches.
Oh my God, a flight stand.
Well, a flight stand would be good.
That's interesting.
That's a good idea.
Even some kind of like thing, even if it's fairly basic, that would like let you have it in a more upright position.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like the position it's in the display when it's on that rock, but they obviously can't do that rock. But even if it was just a thing to get that claw up higher or something, not sure. I don't know how the logistics of how that would work, but I personally think, to me, I don't think this is the most exciting thing. I don't think people are going to be super happy about it, but to me, like instead of it being a skeleton, it's a skeleton 2-pack. I would honestly think it would be cool to be able to have multiple skeletons. So having it be like that might be kind of cool, but it's probably not flashy enough for people to get excited about it.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll just be another Sir Benegar and everyone will be very happy with that.
Right? A second. Yeah, that'd be crazy. DorkLair Nest Dia would double the price. Yeah. And Trevor doesn't think it would be new tooling. So it could be another figure where they just use they just repaint another figure from the line, right? Or they mash together something, or a figure that they have in the pipeline or something.
Or even just going back to my little Benegar thought, like just a standard, like a knight, like a, whatever, like no alternate head and no flashy soft goods, but you get like the shield and that neat helmet.
Right. Like a wingman, a guard for him or something.
Yeah. I'm blanking on the name. A guard. Yeah, that would be a good.
An Ashen Knight. So we have the Ashen Ghoul, essentially, the Ashen Zombie, and then we have the Ashen Skeleton. An Ashen Knight might be kind of cool. Let's see here. People are saying saddle, perhaps. Dragon armor. These are some of these are big wish listy kind of thing. A fiery skeleton would be kind of cool. So like the fiery knight as a skeleton.
Yeah, I definitely love the fiery effects more than the ashen ones.
And this is a good point. It can't be too big because they've already locked in the size of the box, but they might have already factored in a third figure.
I feel like they would have thought of everything, been like, all right, we're, this is why the shipping's so much.
Fiery egg with baby dragon.
Neat.
Yeah, Ashen Barbarian. Yeah, I like this idea. Similar to the Barge, where you had the book that, like Trevor's saying, a book with the backers' names, but also I think it would be cool if it were like kind of like that documentary they did, but they do it as a book where it's like the behind the scenes of the dragon, and it's like a collectible book that, you know, paper, like a, you know, kind of like the pamphlet. Do I have it in front of me? I don't know what I did with it, but like, but nicely printed or something. Little treasure pile maybe. Honestly, that kind of makes me think of the coin idea, although the coin wouldn't be in scale. Let's see here. Treasure pile would be sick. Gold coins. Giant wing adapter. Like, you know, like the classic, like gray wing adapters. Jesse thinks a flight stand would be impractical. Weight and size would be too much. Dragon shoe shine box. There's just so many comments here. It's hard to get to them all. 4,000. Let's go for the horse. Rakagor and Baethir colors. I would like that. I like, as much as I like Scourge, I have it set up as a mythic. I think that would be very cool.
I like this one, Rhaegar 2.0, and this thing would go through the moon. You would order one, Larry?
I would be tempted. I don't know. I got that one from Bill at Christmas, so I might be good.
That's true.
I will say this though: Rhaegar is a part of the sect of Aresius, and presumably Aresius is that other dragon, the dragon that's on the shield, on like Rhaegar's shield and stuff. So this being the Order of Baethir, I feel like it's just completely out of the question now. Yeah, different faction.
So what you're saying is we gotta wait for the next dragon.
Right. Exactly. A swig. Fiery moose. Now we're talking. Let's go, people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, a dragon summoning horn. That's cool. Do you think they would double the figures since they would be so rare? I mean, I think the skeleton would make a lot of sense to double it because it's a skeleton. Like there's plenty of skeletons, and I don't know, like it's going to be rare in that colorway, but either way, it's going to still be rare. Okay. A Baethir, yeah, like it could be like this, like you know how you have the priest of, I forget her name, Araya the Talon Bearer. She's a priest of, she's like a cultist, right? Like you could have a priest or priestess of Baethir. Soft goods, hat, and trench coat, and some tiny sunglasses. So Baethir can have a disguise and get you into the HIV.
I was thinking like the Thing when he goes out in public. Like,
that's exactly where my mind went.
Undercover.
Okay, let's see where am I on this thing here? Yeah, so you can see there's a ton. Each row I think has 30, so it's 120 current channel members.
Nice.
Awesome.
And then just a shout out to the super chats from last week. Wesley, Hedgehog, Jurassic Jesse, and William. Thanks, guys. And do we have another one over here? Oh yeah, Cloud Foxwell, 21 months. By the way, I realized I can download the list as a CSV file, and then I can sort them. So from left to top to bottom, and then left to right. So like Rygon is the oldest channel member on the list. Like in Rygon and Wesley and Braku, like it's like the longest, and Cloud should be in that mix somewhere. And then all the way on the right would be the newest. So if anybody's interested in that, we got Rob Zamora, 22 months. All right, so giveaway time. So again, these are the figures that I'm giving away. If you were interested in getting them, well, if you win this and you want to get him looking like this, the figure to combine him with is actually available on the public site. If you wanted to get the purple Goss, the purple Cray looking like this, you'd have to be a patron or have a friend who's a patron to order that set for you. And those are these sets. So knightsoftheslice.com. Again, Jesse donated this. So shout out to that shop. So 3 of these items are still currently available on the patron store. So the Goss, the Cray, and then the Pirate Goods set. And then the Rebel Evolved figure, which is a nice figure in its own right. It's some pretty cool colors, and it's got some cool swap out options with the torso, and you can see those upper arms are the ones I have on this figure here. That is available just straight up right now on the on the public Knights of the Slice page. And then we're just shouting out some people here. Thomas, 22 months. Brick something, 22 months, which I think might be the max there. Because it was like summer 2 years ago. So we're approaching the 2-year mark. All right. So did I have okay, we're going to get to that in a second. Let me pull up the giveaway tool. Share screen, giveaway tool, and very simple one here. Before pressing screen, remove all their. Oh, I got to remove this first now? Okay, that's not the usual. KOTS, hashtag KOTS. Let's see them. And let me make sure my banner is looking good here. Enter KOTS in the chat for a chance to win a Goss Cray Knights of the Slice 2-pack. Is it coming through? Yep, they're coming through. Okay, I'll pull this down.
Cool.
And I will put this back up. These figures are awesome. These 2 bodies are the 2 most articulated Glyos figures out there. They're a little pricier. They're like 30 each, but they have like great articulation in a 1/18th, like some of the best articulation I think in 1/18th scale, like maybe like not quite like Joy Toy or Acid Rain or something like that, but close. Like these are up there in some really good articulation.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I have one of the like a version of the guy on the right. I got from Toy Pizza at Legions Con.
Yeah,
that was the first time I gotten one like that, where I was like, oh, this is like not just a 5 POA thing, or maybe in a few more articulations. This like
it's not just
it to
swivels.
A completely different level.
Yeah. It does get into some compatibility. Like the heads with Knights of the Slice figures are on ball joints. Like you can see the ball jointed, and then it's got the Glyos peg under it there on the right side. So there's a little bit of that where like head swaps are a little trickier with some of these, but for the most part, it's fair. It's like very compatible. And there you have a Goss. You have the all black Goss.
The all black one, yeah. I love just playing with it and posing it because it just can do so much stuff.
Yeah, it's a fun one, and it comes with swap out parts. Like it's got an arm cannon with it. It's got a backpack with it. Like it's got some fun stuff right out of the box. It's got an alternate head there, just that you can just swap right away.
Well, that is. That's this guy, right?
Yeah, you have one. Yeah,
that's the guy. Yeah, I have that too.
I just want to point out that if you could sculpt a Fu Manchu mustache in blonde, you'd have an interchangeable Hulk Hogan head over there.
Yeah, that is total. Yeah. It's got, it's next step from swappable sideburns is the swappable mustache, right?
I can't believe that. That's got to be the coolest feature I've seen on a figure recently. It's so smart.
Wait, what was that?
The switch out sideburns on your figure.
Oh, on that. Oh, on the figure I was showing.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
just
like,
nuts.
what are you talking about?
You're like, there's another figure with swap out sideburns.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Okay, so getting into some of the other news while we have this giveaway going, we have multiple Conans.
Lots of people getting my money.
This is the Mezco 112 Collective, Conan the Barbarian, 1982, Arnold Schwarzenegger. What do you call it? The War Paint edition, right?
Yeah, that's when they attack the temple.
I am a little suspicious of this pose.
Right. Yeah.
Like there's some poses going on in these pictures that, and I don't have all the pictures up, but like there's some that are a little sus in terms of like photoshopping. Because this looks a lot like the regular like Conan body that they have. I don't know if it's different or not, but looks very similar. Yeah, I ordered it. I ordered mine. I've been ordering Mezco from Entertainment Earth for the most part.
If they get everything out as fast as they get that scrap right, I might start ordering some stuff from them.
It's always a wild card.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to order more stuff from Nerdzoic because I just want to support, the mom and pops, and plus we know him; he's a really nice guy. So I've been trying to spend some money there too.
Yeah, speaking of big nerdy, he had a good video today about. I think he did it as a live stream, but he did it short so that it's a good just like rewatch type thing about the tariffs and how he's going to be impacted by it, and his just like he doesn't totally have everything figured out yet, but just like his thoughts about how he's going to deal with it and how he thinks others might deal with it and stuff. So $105. So pretty cool.
The thing that I like about this figure, sometimes on their face sculpts when they're trying to do real people, it doesn't. There's kind of almost an uncanny valley thing. I don't think Mezco is as good at real people as some other folks are, but because of the war paint and like the big thing about Arnold's look in this particular scene or this particular part of the movie was how his eyes looked coming through that black paint. And I just think that black paint, that just makes this figure. I don't think anything is perfect, but it's pretty doggone close.
I ended up selling all of my Super 7 Conan figures. And so this is like really nice because like it takes the sting away, because I really liked those, but it was just like there's so much stuff. I just had there's certain things I just had to let go. And this takes the sting out a little bit because I now have a version of a figure from that collection that's an even better, like it's in an even better format. Like I just didn't like them enough.
Yeah. It's hard to go wrong with Mezco. I don't have a single Mezco figure that's a regret. And most of them, I like them even more than I thought I was going to when I opened them. Mezco they hit a home run every time, I feel like, at least with what I've ordered.
Yeah, this looks great. Like the sculpts and everything. And I like it.
I was gonna say, Benny Torres says, sorry I'm late. I was at an axe league today. Like
axe throwing?
Axe
I bet it's an axe throwing.
Yeah.
When our company, whenever we have our national meetings or even when we have regional meetings, we always have a team building event. And we had one in the spring last year, and they took us to an axe throwing place. And number one, it's a whole lot harder than you think. But number two, it's probably a whole lot more fun than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done it a couple times, and it is like you can get the hang of it eventually. I mean, if you're, one time I did it with just me and my wife, and we had like an hour and a half session. Like she just got it for my birthday, not knowing. And after like 45 minutes, I'm like, all right, I think we've had enough. But then I've done it a separate time with like 12 people or something. And then I
think that's the way to do it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. We ended up having like teams of 5. And so that was just like the perfect, you didn't get bored, but you didn't get tired of throwing. And the one thing you figure out when you throw these things, and when you went, did they have the knife throwing as well, or just the axe?
Not this time, but yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. You realize, okay, when you watch someone in a movie do this, okay, number one, they didn't actually do it. That's creative camera work. Number two, it's difficult. Like somebody breaks into your house and you throw a hatchet at them, chances are you're just going to hit them with the handle and piss them off.
Yeah.
Iz says, if you guys are going to be near Sacramento on May 3rd, come to our 3rd annual Mythic Meetup. Meetup May 3rd, my mom's birthday.
That's cool. If I was closer, I would go. It's quite a ride.
Don't let the axe hit you.
Yeah. Where the good Lord split you. Well, unless you know what you're doing, you're not splitting anybody, so I wouldn't worry about that part.
Yeah.
And then we have the, so it's funny because Mezco did this version of Conan, the
Yep.
Frank Frazetta painting, right? And now Frazetta Girls are doing this version of Conan. This went up for pre-order today, I believe. $70. It's up on FrazettaGirls.com.
I really like that, but like you said, Mezco did that. I've got that version. I actually think I got two because it had different heads or different. There are a couple of them I have two of because there were so much interchangeable gear and heads and everything else. I like to put my Barbie in all of her preferred professions. But I really like this. But if I didn't have those others, but I think I'm just going to stick to Mezco for the time being.
Same. I probably would get this if I didn't have that already. And if it was, honestly, if it wasn't Dragon Month, I probably would get this. But it's just like, for now, I'm just going to hold off. Maybe I'll get it down the road. I know they've added some additional articulation and stuff. But it's just like, it's just too much. So I'll hold off.
I'm kind of reaching the same point. You were talking about letting go of your Super 7 stuff. The thing that brought me to your channel was you started out doing figure arts reviews for Star Wars stuff. And I'm taking a long, hard look at all my figure arts stuff, thinking about starting to call some of that down too. Cause I'm out of room, man. Yeah. I'm out of room.
Yeah. Same. I was going to ask, is this guy use like the same body as other Frazetta Girl figures or similar parts?
I think it's a similar body. I think it's a brand new sculpt, but it's a similar body. It does have double knees now, so the knees are a lot better looking than that first one. I think that was one of the weakest parts of those first couple. So the Dark Wolf and the Northman, like I think those had those kind of like ugly knees. So. Mm-hmm. These are a lot better looking, but it's still got single elbows, right? That still look fairly limited, and it definitely has a bigger. I feel like it's got a different shape to the torso and stuff. I don't believe there's any waist articulation still, which sucks. That was a big one for me.
I was thinking the like from the mid torso up, it looks bigger. I don't know if it has. Is that a separate piece above the rib cage? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, so on all of these, it's got a diaphragm cut up.
Okay.
Yeah, below the pecs, like in that rib cage area, and then there's nothing at the waist. It's just like from that diaphragm cut down to the hips. It's all one solid thing. So that's where I wish there was one more joint would be in that waist area there. But still, they're great looking figures. It's just that like I'm a little tapped out with Dragon Month.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Probably tapped out for the next couple of months.
Yeah. And then, well, I did save up a ton. Like I had,
you were doing a lot of eBay stuff too.
Yeah. I was selling a lot. I was saving a lot. I was skipping a lot of stuff. And I just kind of still in that mode. Honestly, that's all it is.
That's kind of what I did to get, cause I knew I had 3 masterpieces in 1 month, and these were not low ticket items.
So then these are some Trevor picks of the Frazetta Girls Conan.
I swear, if I were doing an action figure line and I wanted just my advertising shots to absolutely blow people away, that's who I'd get to do them. He does, especially the sword and sorcery stuff. He does the best photography. I could just, what he needs to do is do a book of his photography. I'd buy it. Even lines I don't collect. I love his photography.
He does the calendar every year. I don't have mine hanging up. I had taken it.
Nah, man. I want a big hardback coffee table book.
Yeah.
That's obnoxious and takes up a lot of room.
Yeah. I mean, they look like paintings,
They do. They're beautiful. Just the way he does the lighting and the shading and the posing. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Peck picks. Oops. Trevor says, thanks, Larry.
Absolutely, dude. You do the work. I'm just making the observation.
Okay. And then somebody had mentioned the Death Dealer. So this is from Savage Crucible. They had their stream last night and they announced their Death Dealer. It's on their barbarian body that's coming in this next wave, but it's got like a ton of cloth goods, like premium cloth goods. It's got a metal chainmail skirt and then like back skirt. I don't know what you call it, but tons of swap out parts. It's even got it's got two different heads, two like completely different heads, but all the pieces are swappable. The face plate and the horns, and so you can mix and
That's
match
neat.
and get 8 different
Looks really
looks.
good.
He's calling it the 8 faces of death, not to be confused with the videotape series Faces
Oh
of
Lord,
Yeah.
that brings back memories.
Death.
Yeah.
60. So if you order right now on the pre-order on savagecruciblepreorders.com or savagecruciblepreorder.com, it's 60 if you pay the full amount up front, or 70 if you, I believe it's 70 if you pay a $5 deposit or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it's
80
going
if
to
you
be
wait.
when this pre-order ends, I think it's 45 days. It ends early May or something like that. When it ends, it'll be up on like Big Bad, on maybe some other retailers. It'll be $80.
I'm giving consideration. I've never bought anything from this company before, but I'm giving consideration to getting this because I dragged my feet and I missed out on Death Dealer when Mezco did it, and it's just so pricey on the aftermarket. If I'm gonna have a Death Dealer, that may be the route that I have to go for the time being.
And Eamon's did say that Frazetta Girls are working on a Death Dealer and horse.
Really?
So I
I'll
don't
wait on
know.
theirs.
I don't know if it's going to be an articulated horse. I don't know like what they're going to do for a horse, but so
I don't care if it just stands there and looks like the painting. I would get that.
Right. Yeah. This does go 45 days though, so for me it's like I'm not buying it today, but I am going to pre-order this. I did this, the direct pay up front for Elric, and I'm going to do the direct pay up front for this. It's just I'm going to wait.
You got the Mezco Death Dealer though, didn't you?
I did. I sold it
Also,
because it was just so much money. I was like, you know what? I'm selling.
Yeah.
This thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that now.
I've been kicking myself forever for missing that thing.
Yeah. So Pale. They actually had a very interesting conversation with Frankie Frazetta, Frank Frazetta's grandson, who runs the Frazetta Museum, who licenses this to Harbinger Studios. And it was he had a very interesting and thoughtful reasoning why he's going with this look, why that is the licensor decision to go with this look based on his perceptions of the paintings, on his his conversations with his dad about his grandfather's vision for the character and stuff like that. So it's worth a look back for the people who are wishing this were a human flesh toned looking character. And yeah, Trevor's saying this is correct color, and it does come down to, I think, some of the lighting, like essentially like lighting on like lighting and color theory in painting is what it had to do with.
Yeah, it always came across that color to me.
Yeah. But some people look at some of the ones where there's fire reflecting off of it and it gives it a flesh tone.
It does. I'm looking at one right now.
But that, he's saying that he thinks that is actually like the atmospheric color reflecting and giving it a flesh tone look, where he thinks it's actually pale just being lit up. Yeah, it was a good explanation. The Death Dealer with Horse by Loose Collector. Oh yeah, I remember that one. That's right. I forgot about that. $395. That's super expensive.
Is it the same scale, 1/12?
Yeah, it's Loose Collector. They did like Vampirella and who else did they do?
Oh, that's a good looking.
Did they do a Red Sonja? I think they maybe did a Red Sonja.
I think so.
Yeah, they have the more of the flesh tone. It's more of a fleshy tone. I mean, the figure looks good, but
that's right. Color theory is theory, not fact. Although a good explanation goes a long way. A good convincing explanation goes a long way.
Death Dealer.
And yeah, so that's a good point. This is totally swappable with this is a Savage Crucible Barbarian body. Like this is totally interchangeable with their Barbarian. So you could swap in the if you want a flesh tone one, obviously that's a lot of work or whatever, a lot of like buying figures to do this, but you could totally make a flesh tone one if you wanted. And another aspect that Frankie said was he was like, you know what, like your interpretation is just as valid as mine, and he welcomes people to like bash themselves whatever they want. Okay, so there's that. And then getting into the G.I. Joe stuff. Actually, this is probably a good point to do the giveaway. Look at, we got 178 people here. Let's do the giveaway so that we're not letting people sit here hanging. Let me pull this down and pull this up. We got 55 entries. Again, it's for a Knights of the Slice 2-pack, essentially. We will spin this in 3, 2. Actually, hold on. There's a little lag, so I think people are still rolling in with their. Let's let these come in. It's a little bit of lag here tonight. All right. I am going to spin it. Here we go. And Dusty Standiford is the winner. Dusty, just message me and I will get these out to you.
Awesome.
By the weekend. Sweet,
nice,
man. Congrats. All right. We were right next to them at Legions Con. I gotta pull this down. Okay. And pull this down. There we go. All right, Larry. We are on to all sorts of G.I. Joe.
Yeah, it was a big week. So this is going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I swear every year they just get bigger and bigger with this thing. I don't know if you guys have seen the box. It actually opens up to look like a stage show.
Nice.
But yeah, this is the from the season I think season 2 episode where they were using music to hypnotize people, and just something really, really cool. I'm sure you've all seen the old Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction, where their heads are skulls and it's got their hair and it's on the four corners of a cross. I used to have one. I wore it until I wore holes in it. I had one like that of Cold Slither, and it had their skulls. And the Zartan had a skull with that hair and his thing. And then the different Dreadnoks had their sunglasses and hairstyles. So it was really cool. But no, this is a cool thing. See, to me, an exclusive should be something that you don't need to complete a collection, but something that's nice to have. You know, this is if you're just collecting what you had growing up, or you're collecting what was representations of the old toys. This is a total bonus, but it's bad. It's badass. I love it. I'm looking forward to getting that.
And it's kind of wild that they've already revealed a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
Really early, right?
Super early.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, Crystal Ball. This was, and I don't know if anybody remembers this, but the old G.I. Joe line, Larry Hama wrote every file card for every figure except for this one. This was Stephen King's creation. And that's why his name is Richard King. Stephen King, and then Stephen King's alternate name was Richard Bachman. So that's where his file name comes from, Richard King. So this is a Walmart exclusive. It was supposed to go up at either 1 o'clock for Pulse members and 2 o'clock for everyone else, or 2 and 3. It went on early. It went up at like 8 or 9 in the morning. It sold out in about 30 minutes. It was up on Walmart a little longer than it was on Pulse. But if you've ever ordered from Walmart Collector Con, you know that the chances of that order actually getting fulfilled are somewhere between slim and none. So if you didn't get your order in on Pulse, just get prayed up, drop an extra 20 in the offering plate, and you might get it from Walmart. If you missed out on the pre-orders, your only hope is that Walmart gets some in and they go on the shelves. That doesn't typically happen with their exclusives. I was late to the party. I was in with a customer. I got out. I knew it was supposed to go up at 2 o'clock. I got out at like 2:05 and it was long gone. So this is one that unless I find it in Walmart, I won't be adding it to my collection because I'm not going to pay aftermarket prices for stuff.
Every now and then,
not.
a Pulse exclusive sells out, and then when it releases, they put more up. And
from time to time, yep.
Yeah, so hopefully.
And the Breaker, so Breaker last month went up with no announcement and sold out. And I just went back to Pulse like every 5-10 minutes throughout the day, and they got another run of them in. So keep checking Walmart, keep checking Pulse. I check them 2 or 3 times a day. You never know when something will come in. And then with the Target exclusives, which was the Diver 2-pack we'll get to, that sold out. But just like the ferret repaint for Tiger Force with the Firefly repaint that sold out, nobody could ever find. Eventually it did get to Target stores and eventually went on clearance. I think I ended up getting it for $15 or $18. So every once in a while things will show up, but like Lewis just said, if it's a Walmart exclusive, your chances of finding it in store are not very good.
Yeah, this was
and I've never been in one of the ones where
never
we get
find it in
warmer.
your store, or they get 16 cases that shelf warm for 2 years and go on clearance.
Yeah, whoever does their distribution is day drinking, I'm pretty sure. Frag Viper, this is just an awesome update of a later figure. I think this was about 91, 92 when the line was not quite in its death throes, but getting close. We weren't to the Neons and the Echo Warriors, but we were knocking on that door. But one of the cool things they did here, they said they wanted to make this a little different, and he's actually Android, and that's why his face looks that way. So the helmet never came off the old Frag Viper, so now they have a little bit of artistic license that they can use with these things. This was a design that I always liked as a kid. I never got this figure, so I'll be looking forward to this guy. This I've been waiting when the anniversary line came out back in, what was it, 2007. This was the figure I wanted the most, the 3 3/4. When they announced Classified, this is one I wanted the most. This was one of my favorite figures from my childhood. I absolutely love Blowtorch. This thing it's hitting on all 6 cylinders. I cannot wait to get this guy. This is one that I'll buy a double of because I love this figure so much. I'm going to want one to keep in the box and keep on display in pristine condition, but I can't wait for this guy. And you can see they reused some of the stuff from Torch, the Fireball, and the Fire line. So they're finding a new way to reuse some of those effects. But yeah, I'm beyond stoked for this guy.
Is this like a deluxe figure, or is this?
No, it's a standard figure of $25.
Not bad.
Yep, it comes with a lot of stuff, and that's a lot of sculpting too. G.I. Joe. One of the ways that they made a lot of money, and they've even been able to do it this line to an extent, is by using molds and repainting molds and sharing stuff. But this is a completely 100% new tool. So to get all of that in a $25 figure is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Hank's here.
Now they'll be reusing the tank on his back, the firefighter that's coming out for the classics line. That part will be reused.
Richard King. So his nickname is Dick King.
Well, he has an alternative career, but we don't talk about that. It's a family show. Dark Line. This is another one that I love from my childhood. This is Destro's cousin. Obviously, it comes with an alternate head that we didn't have when we were growing up. They didn't have the sword. When we were the one growing up, you just had Dark Line and that weird ass Gatling gun. But this is another awesome figure. I love how they're taking those figures from later in the line and just giving them that classified treatment. And yeah, this thing it's perfect in every way. And I'm looking forward to getting and play with that alternate head and seeing what that's all about.
His sword looks a lot like the Ether Blade from Mythic Legions.
Well, and to play into the G.I. Joe Destro family mythos, it's the same type of jewel as the one Destro wears around his neck. So that's what the jewel is in it. So apparently it's something to do with the clan and the family and each of the figureheads in the family having that jewel.
That's cool.
Yeah. Like that guy. Footloose. Yeah. Going back to, I think this was in 85. He was basically the replacement for Grunt. Then when that line came out, you had him replacing Grunt, you had Bazooka replacing Zap, you had all just those regular green shirts from the original 13 getting replaced. So he was the new infantry trooper. He had a pretty big part in a lot of the cartoons in season 2. And yeah, just a cool figure. And if they end up doing something, you could take one of those alternate heads with the masks on it and have this be another green shirt army builder. So I really like it a lot. This is one that I've been waiting for. This is another one I loved as a kid. Growing up, we always had German Shepherd dogs. So I always loved this. I loved Law and Order. And so I'm super looking forward to this. This is another one that I had as a kid. And kind of like Mutton Junkyard, you've got a good boy face. You've got angry boy face. You've got all kinds of accessories for the human. This is just going to be another awesome, awesome 2-pack. And yeah, this is the other exclusive. It sold out on Pulse. It sold out on Target, then it went back up on Target. It was up on Target for a while. I don't know if it still is or not. I pre-ordered it on Target. And I know some folks have had bad luck with having Target pre-orders canceled. I might be jinxing myself. I'm going to knock on wood. I have yet to have one canceled, so I'm hoping this holds true. Looks like they used a lot of the stuff from the diver body, which shared some stuff with Torpedo. And then they had just the standard diver in the anniversary series. And I'm expecting we'll see some more reuse of this when they finally do wetsuit. But this is so you can reenact the scene from the mass device. This is one of 3 mass device packs we've got. Breaker had one of the elements, and then Snake Eyes and the Polar Bear has the radioactive element. So another one of those. There's rumors that they're going to do a mass device either late this year or early next year. We don't know yet, but I find it hard to believe that they're going to do all these different packs and exclusives and not give us the full mass device. So we'll see.
And
oh my gosh. Yeah. This was one that we were on a lot of the message boards and groups. We were hypothesizing how they were going to fit a figure in this. Cause in the old one, you put the legs in the legs, you put the arms in the body, and you close it like a clamshell. But this thing opens up and a figure sits inside it. So this sucker's going to be big. And I think, yeah, there you go. And I think the retail on it ended up being around $80. So suffice it to say, I'm not army building this thing, but this is awesome. They're doing a really, it's humongous.
I honestly feel like $90 seems like pretty reasonable.
I feel like you could take this and put it up against the giant Figure Arts Hulkbuster armor, and it would be just about an even match.
Yeah. This might be
70 price. Yeah.
That,
I think the 75 I think that is more than fair for something that's that big and that chunky. And who was it said, Furious Figure said it sold out. That doesn't surprise me. I've not checked back since I pre-ordered, but yeah, I think that's definitely a fair price for that much plastic.
Yeah. 75 looks awesome.
It really does.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I haven't bought anything for classified in a while, but that would be nice to have.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Go with the tank.
Moving on to the Haslab.
Yep. And now I know when we talked the other day, they've funded the second tier. So Death Cobra, which was the bonus figure, has been funded. And you can see his figure there as a weapon on the shoulder, but he also forms the left arm in the actual cartoon. He had been brought in to join the team because I can't remember the character of the left arm had gotten kicked off the team. He ended up getting killed. So they got left arm back. But it's funny, they made this tier unlock, and it's a perfect tier unlock because he was only in one episode. The second tier unlock was the electrified nunchucks, which I didn't care about those one way or the other. Those were whatever. As much as people say they don't care about flight stands and figure stands, the stands for these Haslabs are awesome. The one that I got for Deathsaurus, and the one that I got for what was the other? It was another Haslab, Victory Saber. Those are great, and they're great for posing, and these things just make awesome display pieces. And I think when you have a big, beautiful display piece like that, a figure stand goes a long way to completing the look. So I'm happy that cleared. I was sure that it would. So I think this thing has maybe another week or two. And so there'll still be another flurry of pre-orders come in. And I'm giving serious consideration to getting 2 of them, because every time Haslab does something, it goes for like 150% on the secondary market the minute it drops. So I may get a couple and try to make some of my money back.
So this has 4 days and 2 hours.
Okay,
left,
so it's a little less than a week. There you go.
And it's almost at 20,000 backers.
That's crazy.
I figured it would clear all 3 tiers, but I didn't think it would hit the 20,000. That really surprises me.
Yeah.
But they opened it up to Japan, and these post season 3 series are so popular in Japan. You know, they're going to sell a lot over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's not like the most classic figure for selling 20,000 of them.
Yeah, no. Unless you watched Victory, you don't know this guy from Adam's House Cat. But
yeah, exactly.
I'm not familiar
pretty
with
surprised.
And the only reason I know who it is because I worked with a guy when I was in college, and he had all of the dubs on video and let me borrow them, and I sat and suffered through those god awful dubs. If you
like
ever do watch
stuff.
either Victory or Master Force or any of those, watch them in Japanese with subtitles. You'll thank me.
Chris, on to your stuff.
Yeah, I was excited for this. You know, they've done NECA had done a couple of Jaws figures in their Migo style line. And then, you know, they're doing some ultimates and they're doing the shark. It's part of a game, which I don't know if that's like a licensing thing they had to do to make it a game instead of just a figure, but whatever. It's still like, you know, got that classic Jaws face sculpt. So I'm excited to have a shark that I can have on the shelf somewhere. And yeah, it has like the, you know, some of the stuff that comes with, you know, that, you know, like the canister and then that, the license plate that he, you know, Hooper fishes. Well, he actually fishes that license plate out of the other shark. Never mind, not this shark. Yeah. But yeah, pretty cool stuff.
And I can just hear Quint singing "Farewell and Adieu" to you, also to you fair Spanish ladies.
Yeah. So then, yeah, here's the ultimate Hooper. Give him, you know, several heads. Swap out arms for the different looks. He looks pretty good. Like I think. In the last, you know, several years now, they're sculpting and then production on their sculpts, I think, is pretty good.
This is Super 7?
No, NECA.
NECA. Did they do a Quint figure yet?
There
he is.
Right
okay.
here.
There we go. I think I'll probably pick that up just as a one-off because I love him in that movie.
Yeah. Robert Shaw is terrific in this. So
the simple fact that he was as drunk as he was for most of it and still delivered those lines boggles the mind.
Yeah, that one head there is the upper right is kind of like his laughing drunk head, I believe.
Yeah.
So cool they included that. And same thing, swap out arms. I like that NECA does that too. And then kind of like the jacket is more of a vest. You can pop off. So no Brody yet. Someone posted on the message board that Roy Scheider's family is like they wouldn't approve of anything unless it's like produced in the United States. And I'm like, okay, so we're never gonna get a toy.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Dusty with the hot take over here. He doesn't like Jaws.
Oh geez, come on. I mean,
wow.
The first one is one of the best movies of all time. I'm not going to speak to Jaws: The Revenge, but
no. The second and third one I thought were largely laughable, but that first one, man, his monologue on the battleship that alone's worth price.
Yeah, Indianapolis,
yeah,
that's awesome.
McFarlane stuff.
Yeah, this is something I'm interested in, and even though I know not so many people have liked what they've seen so far, but he's doing Mortal Kombat. I'm happy because they're 7 inches, and so they'll at least be able to stand next to the Storm stuff and not look way out of line. And especially that he's starting with more of the classic looks here. So yeah, like Melina, Katana. So excited to have the female ninjas in a collection.
I'm really interested to see what Todd. I mean, obviously he's still going to be putting out DC stuff until middle to the end of next year, with the license switch over. But I'm curious to see what he's going to do fill the pipeline and start. And it feels like he's already starting to plan for that with stuff like this, the Ninja Turtles page punchers. I'm curious to see what he's going to do to, kind of stop the bleeding that's going to happen when he loses DC, because he puts out a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of DC.
Yeah, and it's all in stores. Like, I see tons of McFarlane DC stuff at Target.
And the thing about McFarlane, like, you get most of these companies and they tell you about something and they preview it and they pre-sell it and you see it months later. With Todd's stuff, he announces it, he previews it, and like the next month it's on the shelves. I love that.
Yeah.
And then Curtis, I don't think he's here. I haven't seen Curtis yet tonight, but he wanted me to include some of the DC figures. He was excited for Dr. Fate, which he sent me better pictures, but it was after I did the sideshow. He didn't get it to me in time. There's actual fancy product shots. These were the displays at Toy Fair maybe or something. So we got this, and then Hawk Girl that Curtis wanted me to share. So, and there was a bunch of other stuff that they revealed too.
While we've been talking, never mind. We can continue that. I forgot. Yeah, Hot Toys is doing. So I was just gonna say saw this on my phone. Just going back to the origin of the podcast, Figure Arts is teasing Grievous, like they're actually gonna.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
I don't know what it is with. I figure I've still got that Star Wars license. There's so much cool stuff they can do, and they still have to do one single thing from Empire Strikes Back. I don't get it.
That's insane.
I gotta say, their battle droids were phenomenal, and so like that makes me think their Grievous would be excellent.
Yeah,
I'm still kind of bitter that they know, they previewed all the battle droids with the different color markings for the rank, and they never put those out.
Yeah, they only put out the 2, right?
Yeah, they did the episode 1 and the Geonosis.
Yeah.
Here's
Hano Toys.
Yeah, I guess it's Hano. I'm not certain. It's Hot Toys, and then they have that subline by Hano that's done all the comic characters.
Yeah.
With so. It was interesting that they put this out under that line. I mean, I guess because it's animated, but either way, they're Stormtrooper army builders. You're getting everything you need, just a couple hands and the blaster. So I think they're 170, something like that. Under $200, so
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. They look good. They look like they just walked out of Rebels. So I was just pleasantly surprised they're doing something kind of completely different and unexpected. I think.
I really love the look of Rebels Stormtroopers. I just think that I love the shape of the helmet. I've always loved the look, and just in general, the look of the Rebels animation.
I was gonna say I like the Rebels everything. I don't think they did anything wrong in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I like I don't know if you have a picture of their Vader tees.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that because I love Macquarie. So I'm like that's straight out of that with that helmet look. So.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things about Rebels is they really tapped into the history of like Star Wars concept art and Star Wars toys, and just like they really went for it with the kind of the nostalgia looks.
Yeah, I love the shape of that helmet. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can see myself getting Vader. I don't know if I will get Stormtroopers or not. I mean, they would just be like just to flank him if anything. But.
I was going to say if you had the money, hit that figure with 2 Stormtroopers flanking him would be an awesome look.
Yeah.
I have the Grievous model kit. It's fantastic. It was probably the most complex one I did, and it was the one that I did the most weathering and paint on, so it was a lot of work, but it is fantastic. It's one of the few 1/12 scale Star Wars figures I have left in my collection. I pretty much kept my model kits. That's really all I have left.
I remember you putting so much work into that back then. I mean, that must have been like 8-9 years ago or something at this point. It was
I mean, going back, for sure. And this is one of those things where it's like there's not a lot of Rebels figures out there that are like, there's Rebels figures, but they're not in the Rebels style.
They're not the
You know what I mean?
style, exactly.
Like the TVC stuff is not in the Rebel style. Like they did have the Rebels line where it was the 5 POA figures. They were great. Those Rebels figures were really nice. But you haven't really seen much of this look really in figure. Like this is it in those 5 POA ones is really it. Yeah, Macquarie goodness for sure. Okay, and then I forget who it was asked to include the Mr. Freeze Hot Toys figure, so that's now up for pre-order. Classic Arnold, Batman and Robin, Mr. Freeze.
It's a crazy looking figure. Like it's been a long time since I've seen this movie, so I forgot how like ornate that costume is. But it's.
I thought it was a great look. I just wish the movie itself hadn't been so campy.
And that was it.
I mean, could you imagine if they had played it a little more serious, like played that Mr. Freeze like they did on the animated series?
Yeah.
Given it a little bit of weight and not made it a comedy. I think that could have been awesome.
Yeah. It took forever to get Sabine with the correct skin tone. Every company did her too pale or too dark. Oh, we got the quotes coming in. Everybody freeze.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, what they did Bane in that movie was unforgivable.
Who played Bane in that movie?
Jeep Swenson. And then he died about 2 years later.
I can't even picture it right now.
He was I'd say strong man, but he was a big meathead who carried about 100 pounds more body fat than is healthy for any human being. So he kind of hastened his own end.
Right. Everybody chill. That's right. Everybody chill. Yeah, so that's it. Good show. Good show, everybody.
Felt good to be back to it. As soon as I sat down and plugged my mic in and put my earphones in, I was like, I'm home.
Yeah. And we'll try to, I mean, I feel like I'm entering a part of the reason why we kind of, and it's funny because it's every other week. So you skip one and it's like almost a month. And the reason why was for the most part, was that I was doing those Necronominous reviews, and there were just like a couple weeks in there where I needed to get out of this room because I was doing those nonstop. I got the wave in.
Oh yeah.
I was one of the first people to get the wave in. I had the all in, and I was doing them every other day. I was like pretty much dropping them every 2 days for 11.
That's a lot of work.
Days. And it is like you set it up and you take a picture on day one and you just kind of, like get everything set up and get the thumbnail done and like get all that done. And then the second day you record it and you edit it. And it's just like, it just takes up a ton of time. So that's pretty much why I kind of like fell off the rhythm and the pattern a little bit. And then we had a Glyos episode and, so. Oh yeah, MuskeCon is this weekend. I hope everybody has a good time there. I know there's a lot of people in the chat that are like either there now or they're showing up tomorrow or they're, rolling in this weekend. So have an awesome time at MuskeCon. 4 Horsemen will be there. I saw a photo of Jim, Jeremy, and Pete McCarthy, and they were on the couch, and Pete was holding the Dragon Knight in his hands.
Oh yeah.
Benegar. Yeah, and I was even injured, so that but like all that meant was I just didn't do as many pop and swaps.
Gosh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, just popping that had to be so difficult.
It's just like. It meant that I had to grab things like this instead of like this, right? Like, which just caused a lot of slowing down of things. And it just, it slowed everything down. It didn't I wasn't in danger of injuring it. It was in a splint. I wasn't in, it wasn't painful or anything. It was just a matter of, actually it's been more painful lately now that the splint's off and it's starting to like sort of heal and
when you go through that
re-injure
stretching, it's just
little,
going to be pain on pain.
Yeah, exactly. But so like the reviews, it actually took me a little less time to do them because I was doing fewer pop and swaps, which are by far the most time consuming thing in my reviews.
Yeah.
They are. But then I got, I am feeling a lot more quicker and able to do pop and swaps now. So, going forward, I should be able to do a lot more of those. And there's Ben. Oh, I just thinking of Ben. And thinking of Knights of the Slice, again, thank you to Jesse for donating the figure for the giveaway tonight. Just a reminder, June, I think it's 7th and 8th or 8th and 9th. It's that weekend is that event. It is the 5 Points Fest / Toy Pizza Expo. I'm going to try to go. I already told my wife that I want to lock in that weekend to go. So, I believe Four Horsemen are going to possibly go. I know they were trying to get them to go. So hopefully Four Horsemen will be there. It's going to be a good event. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're in that area, like, New York, Connecticut, Western Mass, New Jersey, like that whole area, definitely within range to hit that up.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Before you all go, great stream and awesome theme music. And Ben says, I'll be there for at least one of the days. Looking forward to it. All right. Thanks, everybody. And until next time, may the force be with you.
Follow me.